Alrighty, welcome everybody. Tonight is our card making 101 class. So a lot of you ordered the kit and you got a fun tool with your kit through me because you pre-registered for that. Some of you may just have this kit or have another kit that you want to go along with me, and that is fine as well. So as everyone's getting on, I'm going to go ahead and go through some what I call housekeeping, just in case you want to reach out for me for anything. So this is first up. So anyone who places an order with me, if you would please use that hostess code if your order is under 150. You can order through me at juliebrown.stampinup.net. And then there's my email. Now you guys are either watching me on my Pinterest or my my Facebook or my YouTube channel. Facebook channel is Julie's Creative Stamping. YouTube channel is juliebrown.julie's Creative Stamping. And then always make sure you go and check out my blog. I'm getting to where I'm fixing to get all of that up and running again. I have a lot of really good articles on it, but I've kind of taken the last few weeks off because I had grandkids here. And so I was enjoying them, but I'm back. I'm going to be back at work this week. And so you'll be seeing some more articles up here there. Also, just as an update, it's still not too late if you want to get registered for the Wildly Flowered Sweet class to go. It's for the whole month of August, and so the way this works is it's a class to go. So anytime in August you can go in, you can order that, and then I can get that shipped out to you as long as the paper is still available. If the paper is not available, I may use different paper. That's why it's best to get registered for the class to go at the beginning of the month, especially because this month they had a sale on Designer Series paper. So anyway, so this class this is one where I send you the link to a private video where you watch and I walk you step by step how to make each of these cards. And then you also get about $27 worth of product or in a goodie bag. And you also will get step-by-step PDF instructions that you can download and print out. So this is a more laid-back class because you do it at your time, on your time, and when you want to do it. So everything else is it's too late to register for my crafting along, but I will be doing this Mediterranean blooms next week. And so if you have this suite and you want to kind of follow along, you can, and you'll be able to make the cards. When you pre-order from me, you actually get the card kits. It's still not too late. If you do place a $40 order with me this month, you can get the card kits, but you're not going to get the goodie bag and everything else that goes along with it. So yeah, there you go. And to shop with me, you just need to take a picture of that QR code, and that'll take you straight to my my online shopping site. All right, guys, so we are going to be working with the Sentimental Rose Kit. For those of you that are new, whether you're watching me on YouTube or Facebook, if you have any questions, you can type them in the comments. Even if you're just hanging out with me tonight, you can say hello. And as I see those pop up, I will comment. Please understand, I am just like a little bit ahead of you. So just keep that in mind. So like you may put a comment in and I may not see it. Hey, Shanine. So Shanine is joining us tonight. So yeah, so let's get started with this kit. So I am starting from scratch, like I just opened it. Hey, Diane, I'm so glad you're here with us. Okay, so I know that I told you guys instructions on taking some of this apart, but I just want to show everybody from scratch. When you open it, you're going to find a stamp set. Now, not all of our kits are stamping kits. Some of them have everything basically already, it's all digitalized as far as it already has die cuts, it already has a bunch of other things. So anyway, there's that. And then you should have there should be a gray granite ink spot in here. And then you have this whole packet, which now I'm going to move this box. Keep these boxes because this, guys, this is where I keep all of my ink spots from my kits and my paper pumpkin kits. It's also, I have one that I keep for my stamps. I put all my stamps in there. And then I have this one. Okay, so then all we're gonna do is we're gonna open our kit. And this is just what I do every single time I do one of these kits. And it's just because it's easier for me, because we have both these kits, and then we have, hey Cindy, and then we have our paper pumpkin kits. And those are subscription, and you get them every month, but they're a surprise. You never know what you're gonna get. Oh, but look how pretty. So these have some really pretty designs. And so what I do is I separate them. So it looks like we have 3 of that color, 3 of the green, and 3 of the yellow. So I'm just gonna lay them over here, and I'm gonna kind of separate them. So what I do when I go through these is I just go through and I find all the like separate pieces, and I'm gonna move that stamp set off, but I'm just gonna set them kind of, you know, separate them and set them aside. So that's what I need you guys to do for those of you that have the kit and you're working along with me. So there's one of the card bases, and then this is another, some more pieces. Ooh, I love anything that has words written on it. You guys know I like that. So here's this one, and there should be 3 of each of the different card bases. And then it looks like we've got 3 of these little mats. Okay, and then here's the last one here. Okay, so now I'm gonna move this cardboard to the side. And in here, it has the step-by-step instructions, which I'm gonna follow with you guys so that you understand what it's saying. Now this one's kind of cool because I just want to show you how to put this together. This is one of the clear cases, and what this is if once you get this all done, or even if you just want a place to keep all of this, your cards will all fit in this little box. But what a great gift this would make. And so you just kind of do what I do. You just kind of fold it open, and then you just kind of burnish. No, I'm not really burnishing. I'm just kind of bending. And making sure that this will close. And then I'll leave the other end open. And then it's all going to fit right in there. Oh, Cindy, you're here too. Yay. Okay, so now we've got this corrugated square. So again, I'm just going to kind of set this over here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to punch out all of these labels. So for those of you that weren't sure what I was doing tonight, I know a lot of you are part of my team that's on here tonight. So this is the Card Making 101. And so people are purchasing the kits, and then they get a little tool. And as soon as we get all this broken apart, I'm going to go over the tool that you guys got this month. It's a fun one. It's my favorite one. And I'm just going to show you some ins and outs of that tool. But let's just go ahead and get all of these pieces. And then, like I said, I just kind of put them in separate little piles so that it's a lot easier to then grab this stuff when we're ready to put the cards together. So with these kits, you guys are starting out. You're going to do some minimal stamping just to kind of get you into the habit of learning how to stamp. There is kind of a learning curve to stamping, and we're going to be talking about that. All right, and then it looks like we have, oh, this looks like, I bet it goes around that box. So that's that one big piece there. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to punch out all of these labels and keep them separated. And I do like put them all on a pile on top, but even though I'm separating them, I still kind of have them in a pile together. No, Shanine, this is not the paper pumpkin. This is the Card Making 101. We're using the Sentimental Rose Kit tonight. So I have not gotten that kit yet. So that class is actually scheduled for August 27th, and I may have to delay that because I don't have my kits yet. And since I'm designing that. So basically what happens for those of you that are new to Paper Pumpkin, again, that's our subscription one that we get. And what I do for people who subscribe through me is we design alternative cards so that you get a lot more cards for than like the 9 cards that you make in there. And so, and then I design and I do the card kits, and I send you the card kits, and then we do those online. And then we have this one that has the flower, and I'm guessing this goes on that box because there's only one of these. But no, this is not that tonight. Oh, so Shanine, you just got yours today. Yeah, this is kind of pushing me to the limit. Okay, the other thing that you get in the kits that you order online, and not the paper pumpkins, you'll get one of these blocks the very first time you order it, and then you're just supposed to use that every time. With these card kits, if it's a stamping kit, you'll get a block every single time. Now, if I want to just show you the difference in, this is the normal block that I use. It's a lot thicker. So like when you come to one of my card classes, you're going to be using these thicker ones. But I use these all the time too. They work just fine. But and I'm sure it's because of the weight that they've made them a little bit smaller. Otherwise, they'd have to charge us an arm and a leg. Okay, so then in this kit is all of the stuff that you're going to need to put your kit together, because these are what we call embellishments. And then you have 2 little things here. So these are called Stampin' Dimensionals because they pop things up. These are our mini glue dots, and these are the 2 things that you're going to use to adhere things. And then you got some white linen thread. Now, for those of you that registered through me and bought the kit through me, you also, ta-da, you guys got your Take Your Pick tool. Yay! So, but let me show you how this works, because you probably took it out and were like, what the heck is this? So the cool thing about this is you should have gotten all of the pieces you see here, and then you got the stylist end. And the way that you switch this out is you just twist it and pull this out, and then this end is the spatula end. And you just, when you put it back in, you just twist it. And so obviously with this one, same thing, you're just going to stick it in this end and then just twist it to make it hold in place. Okay, I'm going to use this pointy end tonight, so that's it. And then on this one, you should have gotten some extra, I think you get 2 of these. And this is the putty end. This is what's going to pick like embellishments or little things up. And the way to get this to go, and you don't want to twist this too hard, is you're just going to twist to the left a little bit. And then if you watch, it is slow, but if you watch, it does start to come out. And I don't know if you guys, I don't know if my phone's going to focus on that, but do you see how very slowly it's getting bigger and bigger on the tip? So if you do too many twists, it's going to just keep coming out. And then I keep my lid on there. So that is all how you put all the pieces. Now, Stampin' Up! Does have a crafter's toolkit that you can get to add on to this. And it has this piece that goes on the top. It has a utility knife that you can screw in on the top. And then it has 2 other, this is a really sharp point on this end. And then it has this little like arm end. And so these are the newer pieces that you can order through Stampin' Up! To also work with your Take Your Pick tool. All right, so are we ready? So again, I am just gonna follow the instructions that's in here. We're not gonna do anything different. But one of the things that I do want to show you is, so if you guys ever get a kit and you miss the video, I'm doing this so that you know how. Now, I'm going to be doing a lot of talking and talking you through, you know, Stamping 101 tonight. But we're going to work on card 1 first. So what it tells us that we need is we are going to need this card base. Okay, so you're going to need this card base. And then we need, it looks like this piece with the little dots on it. And then we need one of these green labels. And let's see. And then it looks like we need one of these corrugated banners. Okay, so that is what, and then it does show you that that we're going to need. If you look closely at this, it shows you that we're going to need this color of the embellishments. It's telling you that these are the 3 stamps that we're going to be using. And then if you look at these symbols here, I just want to explain this to you. The little dots means you're going to be using the mini glue dots, which is this. And then this, like, it's kind of like an octagon, but it's not filled in. That is the Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay. All right. So now we're just going to, and again, I am just following the directions, but I am going to talk to you a little bit about stamping and making this your own, because you can add to stuff. And I know that kind of freaks you guys out when you first get started, but okay. So the first thing we need is this big rose. So we're going to pull this out. And this is where sometimes you guys want to have like more than one stamp, more than one block, because it's really nice if you could just put all of this on a block. But I'm just going to work with you guys, and we're just going to do one at a time. And so it's basically telling us that we're going to ink this up. So let me talk to you about the ink spot and how I open it. So I find there is one side of the ink spot that has like a perforated edge. And so you can either take a utility knife, or I usually just take my scissors and I just open them up and I set this down and I just go right down here and I'm gonna slide that across, just like that. And then that opens this. Now I try to keep the lid on it because I don't wanna lose the lid. So I don't like tear it off. I just use it like this. Now, with these photopolymer stamps, we need to do what's called conditioning. And the way that you do that is you're going to ink this up, and you do need a piece of scrap paper. So if you don't have some scrap paper, you might want to go get it. So you ink it up, and then I'm just going to stamp off, stamp off, stamp off. And then I'm going to do it one more time. Now, those of you that are just starting, you may not have our chamois. And so you can use baby wipes. I don't suggest you do that forever. I suggest eventually, if you decide this is something you love doing, that you do purchase one of our chamois. And I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so I just stamped it off 3 more times. Then I'm bringing in my chamois, which starts out a beautiful purple. You can kind of see the purple that it was. But this, we just add water to this. And so I always buy a case, and then I buy the chamois. And then that is how I clean my stamps. Now, the reason that we needed to do that is because sometimes these photopolymer stamps have kind of to keep them safe in the shipping, they put like a little bit of some type of resistance on it just to keep it safe. And so sometimes it does resist the ink, and that's why you want to condition those ahead of time. Okay, so according to our instructions, if we turn this up, we're going to take this and we're going to stamp. And again, this is where you guys are learning terms. So we are doing what's called stamping off. And what that means is I'm not going to stamp the image fully onto this piece of paper. And there's also, sometimes when I tell you about stamping off, it's when you ink it up fully, stamp it off, and then ink. So this, we are just stamping off the page. And what that means is I'm going to ink this up, and then I'm just going to lay this kind of over this pink section, and I'm just going to stamp this on, but not all the way. Okay, so that it looks like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do, and I suggest you do the same thing, is let's go ahead and grab all 3 of these cards for this first card, and let's stamp everything at the same time to save some time. So we're going to do that again. We're going to ink this up, and I'm just tapping. I'm not shoving this down hard. And anyone who comes to my class, they know, they hear me all the time say tap, 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 tap. It's like knocking on a door. You don't want to shove. One, you don't want to shove your stamps into the ink, and you don't want to push that ink, down. All you're trying to do is just, get the ink onto the stamp, but you don't want to like shove it in there or twist it or any of that kind of stuff, because that can over ink it. Okay, so again, I'm just going to stamp this, and you'll see they're all a little bit different. I went in a different width on all of them. Okay, again, you guys can use baby wipes to clean the stamp off. I'm going to use my chamois. And like I said, you guys are going to be getting a lot of these tools that you see me using. Obviously, you guys got the take your pick tool this time. So now it's telling us that we need to do this leaf stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this back on here. And I'm going to grab the leaf stamp. This is such a pretty kit. I really love this kit. Okay, so again, because I haven't stamped with this, I need to condition. That's always the first thing you do anytime you guys get a photopolymer. Photopolymer is our clear stamps, and they're the ones that come in these kits. We do have red rubber stamps, but they don't come in the kits. Okay, so, and I'm actually not going to clean this one with the chamois because I've conditioned it pretty good, and I can see that it's holding. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start with this one, and we are going to just, again, we're stamping off, but we're just going to try to get it as close to, do you see that? As close to that as you can. Now, I do want to let you guys know, let's say that you guys are sitting here and you're stamping, and then you see something or something grabs your attention and you get sidetracked, and you don't stamp right away. What you can do is, we call it huffing. You can breathe onto, so you've already inked it up, you can actually breathe onto your stamp and it re-moistens that ink. Okay, so that's just something to remember. So, like, you know, because there's a lot of times where, like, I've had my grandkids come down and say, hey grandma, you know, I did something, I need a band-aid, and I kind of need to stop and go get them a band-aid, but I just inked up my stamp. So when I come back downstairs and here it is with the ink on it, I just kind of, we call it, it's like you breathe, like, you know, I call it huffing because you breathe on it to re-moisten that ink. Okay, so again, we're just going to do this 3 times. Now, for those of you that have the kits, if you're following me and I'm going a little too fast, let me know. So this one, I think I'm going to move this leaf over here. So you can see how I'm changing it up a little bit. I'm kind of moving where I'm putting that bottom leaf. And then I think I'll do this one up here. Okay? So now we should have all of those done. And then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to stamp, and this is where I should have told you with this, but this is the best way for me to teach you the straight up, straight down and straight back up, because now we're going to remove this. We are going to get the one that says thank you. So we're going to grab the sentiment that says thank you. And you'll notice when you get these kits, sometimes you do not use all of the stamps that are in it. They give you extra stamps so that if you want to make other cards, like go buy some cardstock and make some other cards with this, that you have some other sentiments. So again, I am conditioning this stamp. I always ink it up at least twice. But it looks like it's, and I'm looking at how it's stamping, and that's how I decide whether or not I think that it is sufficient. Okay, so we're going to grab our little label. Now, here's a trick. It's good to have graph paper or something with a line. If you don't have graph paper, then, you know, get a piece of paper, draw a straight line on it, and use that line as your reference, because the most important thing is to, whatever it is you're stamping on needs to be straight to begin with. So now I'm going to ink this up. So when you're doing sentiments, it's very important that, and watch me do this, I am going to go straight down, put a little bit of pressure, try not to rock it, and straight back up. And there you go. And that's how you get straight stamping. Another thing to do is to practice. So you can practice by, again, finding a line and just going down and stamping it. And then you can see what I did here. This side's a little bit higher than this side because, guys, when you're stamping, you're either left or right hand dominant. And so you'll start noticing as you stamp that sometimes your ink looks a little darker on the right side or on the, upper right side. And that's because when we're stamping and we go down, we tend to lean in one direction or another. So one of the things that you want to practice a lot is just going straight down and straight back up. And okay, so we're going to grab another one of those labels. We're going to line this up, and then I am going to go straight down, touch it with my fingers there for that pressure, and there you go. Okay. Now, for those of you that are new, that are just starting with the stamping, I don't want you to rush through this process. And so if I am going too fast, just set the sentiment to the side and come back and do it when you can do it at a slower pace. And then you can always re-watch this. So don't try to always keep up with me. I am trying to go slow, but slow for me might be really fast for you. Okay, so there's my 3 thank yous. Okay, so we have all of our stamping done. Now, the number 2, so if you guys are looking at your instructions, the number 2 step shows us that we're going to put dimensionals on the back of that piece that we just stamped, and we're going to put glue dots on that corrugated piece. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to flip these over, and I'm doing 3 at a time here. And so here's where you use your take your pick tool. Boop, boop, boop. So I'm just going to kind of bend this to get those to kind of loosen. Then you're going to take your pick tool, poke it, and then kind of shove it to the side to get that to come up. And then I'm going to put one there and one right there. And we're also going to use it to come back and take the paper off of this. So again, we're going to one there, and we're getting all of these done at the same time. All right, so those are on. Now I'm not going to take that backing off until I get the glue dots on the back of that corrugated. So you don't want it to be on the corrugated side, you want it to be on the back of it. So again, I'm going to be using my take your pick tool. And what I do is I just kind of fold this a little bit to get that glue dot to come up. And then I'm just going to grab it and set it down. Can you guys see all this okay, or do I need to get closer? I wonder. Sometimes when I do closer, though, I forget to go back out. So I'm bending this, getting behind it to pick it up off of there. So I'm sure some of you that come to Paper Pumpkin class is learning some stuff here too, because these glue dots can kind of be a pain to get off. When you purchase glue dots through Stampin' Up, one, they're not this flat, they're not this small. They come in a roll like this, and then we just pull them back and we just pick them up this way. I do with my take your pick tool. Okay, so let's get 3 of these and let's get all of those glue dots on there. So if any of you guys that this is your class, you have any questions, just type it in and let me know. If things aren't making sense to you, I am trying to, when I use verbiage that we use a lot, that people who maybe don't make cards, don't understand. So like sometimes when I say mini glue dots, when I say dimensionals, those are things that I have to remember that new card makers aren't going to know all of that. So if I ever say anything and you don't understand what I'm saying, there is never a wrong question. And so just make sure you type that in. Okay, so we should be to this point right here. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take these, and now we're going to use this take your pick tool to kind of poke and pull off those papers from that. And let's see which direction. I think they have it going this way. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of set this down on here like so. And then I'm going to bring in one of the sentiments, and again I'm just poking and pulling off the paper from that. And the reason that we wanted to put it in the center is because we want this to kind of fit down like so. All right, so there's that. So then it should look like this, where it's got, no, I haven't, oh, this, the twine, no, I haven't explained that yet, Shanine. Okay, so there's that. And actually, I'm going to kind of redo this because I don't like that you guys see me do this a lot on my cards. I don't like that I want the dimensionals to be off that corrugated piece. I think it sits better. Okay, and that's one of the reasons you don't see me pushing down things like really hard when I first, because I may want to re-pull some stuff off. Okay, so now what we're going to do is let's get all these pieces on here. So we're going to do our corrugated piece first. And again, I'm just using my take your pick tool to pull all of these off. And that's going to kind of go right there. And then I'm going to use my take your pick tool again to pull the tops of those off. I needed to get that. Whoopsie. Okay, and again, we want this section down here to be what touches the corrugated part. And we want the dimensionals to be off of that so that it sits even, just like so. All right, and let's do the next one. So we're going to try to get all of the cards done tonight, but we'll see, because I try to keep this to an hour, so we'll see how much time we have. And don't forget, guys, if you have questions, make sure you type them in. Whoops. And again, I'm just going to take these off with my take your pick tool, and then we're going to just shove that. So I'm kind of shoving it down until it like touches the top of that corrugated piece. And that's how I know that I've got it in the right place. Okay, so now we have these three pieces right here. I'm going to bring you out just a little bit, okay? So now we're going to get these card bases. And one of the tools that you will need that some of you, if you started with me, you've already gotten the bone folder. Some of you did not, but this is our bone folder. And so what we do, this is called burnishing. And what this is it is just reinforcing the score line that is already there to make sure that this stays shut. Okay? And so now it's telling us that we want to use 4 mini glue dots, and we're going to put 1 in each corner. So again, I'm going to pull off my mini glue dots, and I am going to put 1 in each corner. Now these cards are not like the normal size cards that I make, but I do like these cards this size because they make really good, like this one is a thank you card, and I always need thank you cards. And so I do like this design for this. Oopsie. So we're going to put these together, and then I'm going to show you, because one of the things that these kits don't ever show us is how to design the inside. And so I'm going to show you guys how to design the inside of your card. So now what you want to do is you want to open this up so that the wording, make sure you're paying attention to your wording, okay? And it needs to be so that you're reading it and it's not upside down. And then we're going to take this and we're going to, when we say flush to the edge, that means it goes all the way to this edge and it is flushed on the top and bottom edges. So it looks like this. Then it tells us that we need to cut 12 inches of the twine. And if you don't know this, this sheet that you get in your instructions has a ruler down here at the bottom. It's like, whoa, who knew? Okay, so, and it has like metric over here, and then this is us over here. And so I'm going to start at the 0, and I'm going to measure to 6, and then basically, well, that was silly. Okay, sorry. So there's to my 6, and then I'm going to pull this over here and do 6 again. Well, since I know I'm doing 3 cards like this, now what I can do is I can just pull this off of here and use this one as my guide, because that's my 12 inches. And now I can just come down and snip this. And I'm going to do that again. And that's just because we're doing card number 1, and so we're going to do this 3 times because we have 3 of these cards. Okay, is everybody doing okay? Am I going slow enough that everyone is able to keep up? Those of you that are doing it with me. So I'm just going to fold that back up. And basically, it looks like we're just going to wrap this around. Where's my card? That's always the thing, is finding where you just moved stuff to. And I don't know if that's long enough, guys. If it's supposed to wrap all the way around, let me see. And it might just be, I'm not that good at doing bows. It did say only 12 inches. Huh. This is going to be, you see, to me, that's not enough to tie a bow. So if you did what I did and you cut the 12 inches, I would have cut a little bit longer than what they said, because that wasn't enough to really tie the bow, unless they're just really good at, I'm just going to tie a knot. And I can add a bow later and I'll show you how to do that. But right now I'm just going to tie this knot. Now I have a little bow maker that again is going to be one of the tools that gets sent to you as you continue to take this class with me. Okay, it looks just as cute with a bow, with that. Okay, so now let's put the other 2 together. And then as soon as we finish all the cards, if I have enough left over, I'll show you how to make that into a bow. And I should have measured that ahead of time, but I was just going off their instructions, and they obviously are better at me than making bows. I mean, I have to admit, guys, I have kind of, my fingers are kind of wide, so I have a hard time tying bows, and so that's why I made a bow maker for myself, just to make it easier for me to tie bows. So again, you're going to take those glue dots, and on all of these pieces, we are just going to move that, and then we're going to bring this over here, and we're going to make sure it's flush. Flush again means right to the edge. Okay, then we're going to bring in that twine that I cut a little bit too small. It happens. Oh, let's burnish this edge first. Again, burnishing means reinforcing the fold. And then we're just going to bring this in here. And we are just going to guarantee you someone with tinier fingers could probably get a bow out of this, but that's not me. Okay. One of the things you can also do is if you're having problems, let me show you that right now. So if you're having problems getting this tight, one of the things that you can do is put a little glue dot right there. Pull that off, and then bring this so that when you're tying that knot, where you're trying to cross it is right on that glue dot. So what I'm talking about is, so I'm crossing this, and then I can press this down, and that glue dot is going to hold that for me. So then I can bring this other end over, and I can tie this without worrying about it getting like super loose. So that's just kind of a little tip trick. All right, so there's that one. And then we got one more to do for card number 1. Okay, so we're running low on time, so I'm just, the next 2 cards I'm just gonna, we're gonna walk through, and then you'll get to finish them later. Because I do want to show you some ideas for how to decorate the inside of your card. Since that's not something that these kits, that's where they want you to be creative, right? And come up with what you want to put, which sometimes on my thank you cards, I don't necessarily want anything in the front, in the inside, but sometimes I do. So we're going to look at all the stamp sets that we have, and we're going to come up with something to put on the inside of these cards. Okay, so now we're going to take this. So is everybody doing okay that has the kits and is going along with me? Because I know a few of you are on here that are doing that. And I know a few of you will be watching later. But just remember, even if you're watching the replay, this is definitely, you guys can still put comments in here if you're watching the replay. And I will see them, and I will answer any questions that you put in here in the comments. Okay, so again, I use that little glue dot, so I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to make my little tie. I'm going to stick it on that glue dot so it holds it in place. It's kind of like having another hand, right? And then we're just going to make that knot. Okay. All right. So that is card 1. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you some ideas that of how I would do the inside of this card. So we said thank you. I don't even know what that is. Oh, that's just a little. Okay. So this is probably one that I wouldn't actually write on the inside, but I would go ahead and put my flower on the inside to make it look super pretty on the inside. And again, guys, as you get these kits, or if you already have some sentiment stamp sets at your house, you can add whatever sentiment you want. Thank you ones. For me, I don't like having stuff on the inside because I want to write my own little message. But I'm going to put my little flower down here, like so, stamping it off again. Just like, and that's basically all I need to make this card look super cute on the inside. And again, my thank you cards, I like to write my own message, so it doesn't bother me not to have something on the inside. Okay, so now let's move on to card number 2. And card number 2, it is going to be these card bases along with these 3 pieces right here, along with 3 of these right here. And I think it's the big square corrugated piece. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is burnish all of my card bases. So let's get a bone folder. If you guys don't have a bone folder, you can, like, even your take your pick tool, you can use that to go back and forth. That will work too. So we're going to burnish these. All right. Then we are going to, where are we stamping on this one? I think we're going to probably be stamping. Okay, let's get these. Yeah. So this one, we basically just need the happy birthday sentiment, and then we're going to use the leaves, which is kind of fun. Okay, so let's take this back off. We're going to put the leaf on here. I love this rose. This is so pretty. And I can see me using this on some of the cards I design outside of this set or this kit. Okay, so we're going to ink this up. Is everyone staying up with me, hopefully? Hopefully I'm still on because nobody's making any comments. So hopefully we are still good. Okay, so we want a leaf coming out here. And we want a leaf to come out kind of between these two up here. Whoops. Okay, so I'm glad I made that mistake, because the nice thing about these photopolymer stamps is that you can lay them right back down over, because you can see through them, and then you can redo that. Okay, so let's get all of these stamped. And I'm just going to do one of these, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp all of these while I have this, while I'm doing the stamping. So are we doing okay, guys? No one's saying anything, so I don't know if you guys are just focused, if I've already lost you. Let's hope I'm still, it's still live here. And then this one is going to go here. And this one is going to go here. Okay, so I got all my stamping done, and now I'm just going to do one of these cards. Well, I didn't get all the stamping because we got to do the happy birthday. But I'm going to do just one of these just so you can see how it goes together, and then you'll be able to take your time and put this together at your own speed. So I'll just do one of these. Happy birthday. So we're going to pull the happy, because this one has happy Mother's Day, happy birthday, thank you, for you, thinking of you, best wishes. This is actually a really good sentiment one. Okay. Okay, great, Diane. So that's fine. That's fine, because you'll be able to do these later. But hopefully you're learning some good stamping techniques here. So we're going to do the happy birthday. And again, remember, we have to condition this stamp. So we're going to stamp it up, stamp it off 3 times, stamp it up, ink it up, tap, 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 stamp off. And then my 3rd time, I should be good. Okay, so let's get that as straight as I can get it. And then we're going to come in here. Hopefully you guys aren't seeing the top of my head. And there's the happy birthday. All right. All right, so let's look at how this one goes together. Okay, so it's telling us 12 inches again, but I'm not going to believe them this time because, or actually I am, and then I'll just do this one, I'll just do the bow later. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to string this across, and then I'm going to show you guys how to tie a bow and add it. So all I'm going to do, so this is different than what your instructions show. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a glue dot here and stick it right there. And I'm going to take another glue dot and stick it right here. And then I am going to pull this off. And then what I can do is I can cut this a lot smaller, and it gives me, it's going to give me the extra to be able to tie those bows the way I want to. Okay, so now we've got that string across that. Before I put the bow on, I'm going to put this on that corrugated piece. And so it wants that corrugated piece so that you have just a little bit showing at the top and a little bit showing at the bottom. So I'm going to go back with some glue dots here. The nice thing about these kits is you guys get everything you need. Like you can, I mean, I've already showed you all the different adhesives that I have, and you don't have to purchase all that because it all comes in the kit for you to put these cards together, which is super cool. Okay, so we're going to pull these off. So I hope you guys that got the take your pick tool, that you're liking them. It's a fun, it's like, guys, it literally is my favorite tool of all times. All right, so we're just going to lay this down like so. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put 4 glue dots here. And then this is going to go on the card base, and this is going to kind of be centered top and bottom, just kind of how we did that last little piece. So it's going to be centered top and bottom to the card base. And I'll show you what I mean in just a hot second. Okay, so I'm taking all of these off. All right. Okay, so now we want this to be flush left and right, but we want to center it. And so I'm going to start and I'm going to line it up on my left side and get it flush there, and then centered top and bottom. Now what happens sometimes is that you have a little bit of a overhang, and you can trim that if you want to. But anytime I have a ribbon tied, I try not to trim that. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to take, oh, you know what I forgot to put on the first card? I'll go back and do it. And then what we're going to do with the happy birthday is we're going to find our dimensionals. Remember I told you guys I lose things? Okay. And what I'm going to do with this is I like to straddle my ribbon. So I'm actually going to put the dimensionals top and bottom here so that it straddles this ribbon. And then it's going to say happy birthday right here. Okay. Now I'm going to use my bow maker just to show you, so I know how much I need to make a bow. And then I'm going to show you, if you don't have my bow maker, I'm going to show you how to do a bow. So I cut about 8.5 inches. So now what I'm going to do is, do you guys remember, maybe your parents, that whole rabbit hole when you were learning how to tie your shoes? That's what this is. So we're going to make like 2 ears. And we're going to try to make them even. And then, so you're going to make 2 ears like this. And then you're just going to cross one over on the front. And then you're just going to turn it around so that it goes through that center, and then pull. And you have a bow. And you can still, you can pull the the little tassels. And then when you get it how you want it, then you're just going to pull that center really tight. Trying to see if I've got mine straight. Okay. And then what you do is you just take another glue dot. This is how I like doing bows. I don't necessarily like sticking them, like tying them on here. I like putting them on later, like with a little glue dot like I'm doing right now. So I'm going to put that glue dot, and I straddled that piece, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to turn this sideways, and I'm going to just stick that right there to that glue dot. And then I'm going to trim these pieces here with my paper trimmers. And there's that. Now this is what I forgot to do on the first one, was to put the embellishments on. Silly me. Okay, but this one I'm not going to. So anytime that we add embellishments, you want to add it in odd numbers. And the reason is because our eyes, for some reason, when we're looking at decorative type stuff, we like seeing odd numbers. And you always kind of want to also do it kind of in a triangle or a semi-triangle, but you kind of, or even like a Z, right? So you want to see things, but I'm going to work at the top of the Z and the bottom of the Z, if that makes sense. So I'm going to take those off, and I'm going to put one there, and then, so that's kind of like the top of my Z. So the bottom of my Z would be over here. And so that one's going to go right there, like that. How cute is this card? Okay, so for the inside of this one, what I would do is I'm either going to stamp, but I think I have a sentiment stamp on here. Again, I would probably just put the rose on the inside, but then this time we can actually put best wishes, or actually, you know what? I think I'll just do the two little leaves. So I think this time I'm just going to put the leaves at the bottom. But this is where you get to use your creativity. All right, so I'm just going to put like this leaf here, and then I'm going to come in again and kind of go off this direction with the leaf. And I'm going to do this one more time and kind of come off this direction with the leaf. So basically we have like these three little leaves in this bottom corner. Oh, I'm so glad you like it, Diane. Okay, but this time, because it says happy birthday on the front, I want to put a sentiment on the inside. And so you're going to pick the one you like the best, but I think I want, so it could be happy birthday, thinking of you. Yeah, I think I'll do thinking of you, because this will be one that I send to somebody who's not here, and I want them to know I'm thinking of them on their birthday. Okay, so again, I have to condition this one. That's probably the first thing you should do with all your stamps when you get them, is just condition them so that you're ready to go when it's time to make them. Okay, so, and you'll see I put that on there kind of diagonal, because sometimes that makes it easier for people. And so I'm just going to do this at this top up here, and I'm just going to go straight down, straight back up. All right, so that is card number 2. I'm going to bring card number 1 back in because I want to put the embellishments on here, because we forgot, and then we'll finish with card number 3, and then, oh, and then I'll show you the box too. Okay, so on card number 1, again, we're going to kind of just do that Z. So if I had a Z and I'm just looking, I'm good, like, here's my Z, right? So I'm probably going to put like 2 up here. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you think so. So I'm just going to put 2 of these up here, for this is like the top of my Z. But I'm not putting them exactly. So I'm like, here's my Z, and it comes down. And so like I can put it here. I can put it over here. this is where you just kind of have to decide like where you want to see that sitting. And so I just kind of want mine to sit like right there. Okay. But isn't it, I mean, those embellishments really help with that card. All right. So now we're on the last one. And so for card number 3, let's see what we're doing here. Oh, I had it right there. Okay. So obviously we're using the yellow card base. So I'm just going to worry about burnishing one because I think you guys understand the whole burnishing concept. Okay. Then we're going to bring in this sheet that looks like this. And we're actually going to turn this so that the color is on the left. And we're going to be adding our rose up here on the right. Okay, so let's get our rose on there. And because we've been stamping with it, we don't have to condition it. And again, the reason we condition it is sometimes it just has a protective coating, which tries to resist the ink. And so that's why it's so important to do that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to just put it about right there in that top corner so that it looks like that. Then again, like I said, if you have baby wipes, use baby wipes. But again, baby wipes eventually can damage your photopolymer stamps. So eventually you do want to get a either the chamois like I use or a cleaner that is for stamps. And then we're going to bring in our little leaves. Okay, and we're going to put, let's see. Let's do these down here. So that one's going to be like that. And then my other one is going to have to kind of go off to the left over here. So I think I'm going to bring like this one like so. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And for this one, we're using the little this little banner right here, and we need the best wishes. And again, guys, I know if this is your first time with me, don't freak out if you can't keep up. You can go back and replay this, and then you can pause it as I go through, and you can stop it and then catch up. So sometimes it is good to watch the replay because again, every time I think I'm going slow, I hear later, that was kind of fast. So I do apologize if I am going a little bit too fast. So let's just get this lined up. And then we want that best wishes right in the middle. Okay, and you can see the E did not turn out. So I am gonna, oh, that's because one of my glue dot things got on there. I'm gonna stamp that off, and I'm gonna try to just get that E, the B and the E inked. But this is where the clear stamps can be really helpful. Look at that. I was able to go back over and get that E in there. That's why clear stamps are really good for beginners, because if you do mess it up, you can try to go back over and get it fixed. Okay. And for this one, we need the long, skinny corrugated pieces. So we're going to need this piece here. And this piece is going to be going down flat. So we're going to be using our glue dots. And I'm just going to put one on each end here. The other thing you guys have to consider on how much glue you're putting, when you're layering things, your bottom layer doesn't need as much glue as your top layers do, because your bottom layers are going to have other things kind of on top of them, which helps to, you know, secure them down. So that's why I feel like I only need, you know, 2 here. So we're going to stick that there like that. Then we're going to come in with this Best Wishes. And I'm going to kind of move my, my dimensionals, which I have moved to the side somewhere. Oh my gosh, I do this every time. There it is. But this, so what I'm going to do is I want these towards the top. So I'm going to make sure that this is the Best Wishes. Because remember how I said I don't want this like completely on top of this because it makes it kind of wonky. Okay, so we're going to put those down. We're going to take these 2 off. And then I can shimmy this in so that that bottom, that little bitty bottom comes down onto just like so. So it overlaps it, but the dimensional is not on the corrugated part. All right, and then this one, so this one is going to be a horizontal card, and this one is kind of cool because it's going to kind of go up in this top corner over here. So let's get our mini glue dots on here. Don't you guys love that these kits have everything that you need to put this card together? Like, you don't have to go buy extra adhesives and stuff. Obviously, I own a lot of different adhesives because I do card classes, and so we do use different adhesives. There's so many different adhesives, and you will be learning about all of them in this class. Even though because eventually we will get outside of kits, and we will be designing off of my card designs. I'm actually going to fold this to make sure I'm getting it flush with that edge. Okay, so it's flush, flush, and flush. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so that, and then we're going to bring in our, this one doesn't have a ribbon on it. And so now, again, and so this time I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do this as more of a triangle, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to kind of put this up here, and then I'm going to bring in this one like over here, or maybe even down here. So I'm kind of doing a triangle instead of a Z, and then this one is going to sit down there. So it looks like that. Okay, now this one is Best Wishes, and so I'm going to let you decide how to do the inside of this card. But you can, we've got so many sentiments on here. So it says Best Wishes on the front. So you could, this could be happy birthday. It could be for you. You can even put congratulations on the inside. All right. So now let's talk about how we design this fun little box. Okay. So this is those little, let me see if I can find them now. They're probably like, okay. So this is that little, where's my take your pick tool? If you guys could only see the sides of my desk. So I'm going to poke that out. And so this is if you're going to give this as a gift. We would set this here, and we're going to stamp the For You on here. Because this, guys, this would be like, if you have got like I, you know, my grandson just went off to college. You know, if you've got kids that are kind of off to college and they don't really have the funds to be buying cards and stuff, this would be a really good gift to send to them, and then they could send it out to people for birthdays, thank yous, you know, whatever they want. Oh, I need to condition this one. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so let me get this straight. And then we want to stamp the for you right in the middle of that, just like so. All right, and then what we're going to do is, if you look at this other piece that you have, it has some 3M tape, but it also has some, so you want to kind of burnish and fold all these edges ahead of time. And basically the way this is going to work is this is kind of your front, and then you're just going to kind of wrap this around, and then you're going to remove that tape right there. But this is where you have to be a little bit careful, because you want to make sure those folds are where they're supposed to be. And then most importantly, you want to make sure that you lay this down straight. And you can do this two ways. If you don't want to see that, then you're going to turn it around to the front. Okay, and then we're going to cover it with the flowers. So there's two ways to do it. I usually just put this in the back and I don't worry about it, but I wanted to show you how to cover it if you wanted to cover it. All right, and so here's this, and so now we're going to put our glue dots here onto our rose. And we basically just kind of want to get them spread around. Like so. Then we're going to pull those off. And again, I am using my favorite tool. And then what we can do is you can take that rose and stick it over here on this left side, and then it completely covers where that goes together. Oh, you like the colored pearls? Yeah, those are really cute. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is with the leaves, you really only need, you can put a couple, but you really only need, you know, like one or two of these, and you want to have it so that the glue dot is going to be like on, you don't want it so that the glue dots, like if you're going to have your leaf hang off like that, then you want to make sure that these two leaves have the glue dots, because you don't want it to be able to be seen through that clear acetate box. Okay, so I'm going to just stick this up here like so. And then we're just going to put one more down here. Now, if I had my flower more centered, then I would have put another leaf like down here, which I still could do. But because I didn't do it that way to begin with, I think I'm just going to either put them both there, or I'm just going to kind of mess with this and see. I don't know, maybe I do want to put it over there. Let's see. This is where your creativity comes in. Yeah, I do like that over there. So I'm going to make sure that I put that glue dot right there on that leaf, because that's the one leaf that is in here and touching something that I can actually glue it to, whereas the other two are kind of hanging off. All right. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your twine, and you can either run it through this and tie a bow. So you could just kind of run this through here and give yourself enough leeway to tie a bow in this, or you could have just stuck this down and then tied a bow and stuck it to it. Does that make sense? Kind of like I did with that second card. So now I can just kind of tie this like I would my tennis shoes. And then I'm just going to tie a little bow. Maybe. If I can get it through the little hole there. Okay. And then again, you can adjust your, adjust the circle part of the bow so that they're both the same size. And then this is basically just going to stick on there like that. And so I'm going to put some glue dots on this. And then if you wanted to give this as a gift, you could. Or, it's still a cute box. You could fill it with candy and give somebody a bunch of candy as well. You don't have to give them the card. You could just leave it like this, and you could fill this with some of that, like, the stuff that goes inside, like, the bags that we give. It's more like confetti. It's kind of like crinkled. You could fill that up and put a gift in here for somebody, or you can take your cards with their envelopes, right? And then you would just kind of fold the envelopes, and then they would just fit in this box, and you could give this as a gift with the cards in it. So super cute ideas. And I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I was able to kind of give you an introduction to card making. This is what our card making classes entail. And I know that some of you already have this kit and you just wanted to do the kit along with me, which is fine. But if you do pre-register, then you get a tool each time. So this time, those of you that pre-registered, you guys got the Take Your Pick tool, which you guys know is my favorite one. So be watching for the registration. It should go up in the next week for next month's kit. And I think we have maybe 1 or 2 more card kits that are like this before we start into the card making. And what's going to happen, and the reason I did the kits first is because I want you guys to have stamps at home, so that then I'm going to start designing cards using some of the stamps in the kits that we've already done. So so that's the whole idea behind having stamps. The one thing that Stampin' Up does not let us do is send out stamped images. So it is important for you to kind of build up some stamps, and these kits are the best way to do it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this class. I'm going to finish up my cards because I hate unfinished kits. And so I'm going to sit and finish these up tonight. And then I'm going to decide, what am I going to do with this box? Am I going to fill it with candy and send to somebody? Or am I going to, put the cards in it and send it to somebody? So we'll see. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget, if you have more questions, you can always type them in. Even if you're watching the replay and a question comes up, type it in. I will see it and I will answer it. So thank you, everybody that has joined me tonight. I hope this was helpful and hope this was a fun intro into